Hello humans, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, we shape and polish gemstones using a dremel. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing. Today we're going to be working on this piece of black opal from Lightning Ridge. It's got some great green-blue flashes going on. It's pretty small, but it has great potential. And there is a little bit of dirt in the back and in the face, so let's hope that that dirt doesn't go all the way through. When we weigh it out, the starting weight of the stone is 0.93 carats, and when we measure it, it is about 7 millimeters wide, 9 millimeters tall, and about 3 millimeters thick. When we shine a flashlight through it, you can see that there is dirt inside of it, and there's probably some problems that are going to happen with it. But, you know, we can always be hopeful and just hope that that sand doesn't go all the way through. So if you want to see how this stone gets shaped and polished, what happens and how it turns out, just keep on watching. So starting on my 110 grit diamond sintered bit that I got from Suva Lapidary, I started by flattening out the back and then getting the sides a bit more rectangular. Now I have a guide that I made by cutting a little rectangle out of plastic that I stenciled onto the back of this stone to fit this ring that I have that has 6 compartments for 5mm by 4mm rectangular stones, and it is a closed back ring setting. So as I'm working on this, I'm checking periodically to make sure that I'm able to save the most desirable parts of the color bar. While it is all very beautiful, there is that bit of dirt that was going through it, as you guys saw in the beginning, and I wanted to make sure that that was off to the side a little bit so that as I am rounding the edges of the stone, hopefully I can get that out as long as it doesn't go all the way through. Now, with a stone so close to the size and shape that I needed it to be already, it can be pretty risky when you have dirt going through it. Now, the dirt in the back isn't such a concern, but that dirt in the side was definitely a concern and did nearly cause some issues down the line. And you also want to periodically check to make sure that you're not taking off too much of the sides of the stone, because as you guys have seen in previous videos, I did do that on my very first stone that I did to try to fit this particular setting. And this is my most beautiful black opal that I have that will fit this setting. So I really want to be careful, and I really also want to be careful to save some of that kind of chaff pattern going on the side of it. So once I'm a little bit closer, I'm just gently kissing the stone to the bit and checking constantly. So here, as you can see, the little bit of sand is still there, and I was able to maintain the color bar all the way around, but you can see that on that one side, that sand does go in just a touch, but I should be able to round it out here on the Nova points. And here I start by kind of polishing up the sides with this bit, and then I take it from long side to long side and then short side to short side to get the good kind of dome that I needed out of this. And as I'm taking it away, I'm checking constantly, because the black Nova point will take off so much of the stone. You really need to be careful. And then I kind of worked in a circular motion to make sure that the entirety of the face is polished. Now you can see here that one of the sides is a little bit taller than the other. That is because the shorter side was the side with the sand, so I kind of just took that off as much as I was comfortable, and it did leave it with a bit of a crooked face, but working on it moving forward, it shouldn't be such a big issue, and I might be able to bring it down a bit more, but as I'm setting the stone in the setting, I can do some things to make sure that when it is in there, that the face of it sits flush, which is the most important part. Now, I did end up super glue dopping here because at this point in time I did not have my dopping wax. So I ended up using the Gorilla Glue gel type glue that I have been using for Ethiopian opals and stuff. And it does work relatively well, but something about it is I feel like every time, the first few times that I try to glue the stone to the stick, when it touches the water, it just tries to pop off of the stick, and it's kind of annoying. So just keep that in mind, and definitely if you have dopping wax and the lamp, go for it, use that, it's probably easier. But moving forward to the polish, I'm just kind of twirling it around and making sure to get the sides, making sure to dry it off to see and make sure that there are no scratches. But with a stone this small, it doesn't take all that much effort to make sure that it's polished. And you can see here, all this footage that I'm showing of polishing is in real time, and I did not polish it very much more on each bit after the camera was turned off. It really just takes just a few seconds to get the polish on it, and then I just wiped it off on my pants or on a cloth that I had nearby and looked at it, and it was nice and shiny. But with these oil-based or wax-based polishing pastes, mine are wax-based, they can be pretty slippery, so you really do want to have your stone dopped. Even if it's a larger stone, it's just safe because it can really make it super easy to drop it, even if you are super well trained in holding it, especially with the vibrations from the dremel. While I do have my dremel kind of clamped together, when the clamp is clamped to a shelf, that will cause some vibrations, whereas if you're doing it by hand, your hand will absorb a lot of those vibrations. But with the clamp situation, the tightening part of my bigger clamp likes to kind of loosen itself sometimes, so I have to periodically tighten that and make sure that, it's not vibrating too much. But this is what the finished stone looks like, guys, and you can see it's got a great polish. It's nice and dark, and it's got great greens going on. Got a little bit of blue. Very happy with the way it turned out, and when we weigh it, it is 0.36 carats. So we ended up losing a total of 0.57 carats, but that is a small price to pay, especially when you are trying to fit a setting. Now, if I wasn't trying to fit a setting, I would have just kept it as large as I could, but I really wanted this for that ring. It was one of very few stones that I had that would fit it, and it is stunning. It has this really nice kind of directional broad going on. You can see I was able to save that chaff pattern in the side there. It's got a little bit of great blue teals going on, and it is so dark. I'm over the moon with how it turned out, and you can see here, this is it set in the ring with the last two opals that I have shaped on this channel. And when I was setting them in here, I kind of laid down some of this resin type glue, and then I let that sit until it was like a jelly-like state. And then I pressed the opals in with a little bit more of this resin type glue on the bottom. and it made it so with like this stone, for example, that I cut in this video, it was a little bit crooked, but once I pressed it in, it evened out and made it a nice flush set on it, and they're really firmly in there, and it's really beautiful so far. I can't wait to set the rest of the stones in it, and you can see the little mangled square right there that I was talking about in my last video, but you know, that's alright. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching this far. If you're still watching, you really should subscribe. It would be awesome if you would. Also, you know, like this video. If you liked it, you may as well like it. If you have a comment, anything to say at all, I'd appreciate it if you leave that down below. Share this with your friend if you have a friend, and make our community stronger. And I will see you guys next time that I post a video. Later.